Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Hit Play Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Isaac Jimenez, and joining me, not from Discord anymore,
Yeah, within the same
but
location
within
now.
the same location, is James Harding. James, what's going on, man?
We've actually pulled it off.
We got our own studio. We're legit. We hired a couple interns.
Yep. You just can't see them or hear them. Or they will never be spoken to again.
That's the way we like it.
Still no producer though.
Still no producer. So yeah, James, how are you doing, man? How was your move?
It was nice. The weather was nicer than I thought it would be, just because in Arizona it was monsoon season, so I was getting rain every day for like weeks on end. It was just rain, rain, rain. So sunshine and blue skies is a nice contrast.
It's a nice
yeah
experience. Austin treating you well so far.
Yeah. Well, I think I may have given some guy road rage earlier today, but nonetheless,
It's typical.
his fault, not mine.
Yeah. People out here don't know how to drive very well. I've discovered. They don't let you merge like at all.
Yeah.
And even if you have your blinker on for
Yeah.
half a mile, they still
Yeah.
won't let you merge. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Anyways, this week we are doing an episode that is quasi just kind of catching up on the year and looking forward to stuff that is going to happen throughout the year. We're just breaking down some news today, talking some box office stuff, some trends. You know how we like to talk about our box office. We didn't talk about the weekend of the 15th though. I don't think.
We talked about Free Guy. I believe we did.
We did. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. I lied. We did.
It's been so long.
I know. I think we haven't recorded a podcast in over like almost 2 weeks now. Yeah, so the weekend of the 20th through the 22nd, which was this past weekend, saw Free Guy once again take the top spot. Does that surprise you at all?
Well, no, because look at what its competition was. I mean, Jungle Cruise came out the week before, so did Suicide Squad. Its only competition was Paw Patrol, which
Stiff competition though.
very hard to beat Paw Patrol in anything, right? I mean, the only reason anyone was talking about it is because it's a kids movie based off of a kids TV show, but it did pretty decent, right?
Yeah, 13 million at the box office is decent for a pandemic PG rated movie, I think.
I mean, compared to what I feel like the average box office for stuff nowadays is only like 28 million. That's
Sure.
what we're seeing is average, because that's what Black Widow did. And its opening.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about opening,
Yeah.
right? The only outlier has been Fast 9.
Well, I think Black Widow did 60, didn't it? And then 30.
I think that's included streaming.
No. I think it was 30 streaming, 60 at the actual movie
Opening?
theater. Yeah. This is why we need an intern.
Well, it doesn't matter.
We gotta get it right.
You have to get it
We're
right.
not spreaders of fake news. Here we go. Okay. Stay with us real quick, folks.
Its opening was 80 million.
80 million.
Wow.
Jeez, okay.
So then I'm
way
thinking of the streaming
more.
number. It's streaming.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
believe.
80 million. Wow, we got that wrong. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So 60 was this. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyways, regardless.
Those are the outliers.
Right.
On average, I feel like, because Jungle Cruise at least did like 28 million.
Yeah.
So on average, I feel like that's 13 million compared to 28 million. Isn't that bad? I mean, could be worse.
Could
At least
be
we're
zero.
talking about it. Could
Yeah.
be zero. But Free Guy was still on top. And I don't know. Does it deserve the top spot? Is it just a Ryan Reynolds vehicle?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear that Reynolds came out and said that Disney wants a sequel to it?
A
Already?
sequel to it? I mean, understandable. Because you do sequels for everything now, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
True. I mean, Don't Breathe 2 came out 5 years after the
Yeah.
original, and nobody asked for it.
And Ryan Reynolds is a Disney guy now. He does Deadpool, right? He's in the Marvel world.
Yeah.
So he's basically owned by Disney at this point. He has to do what they say. He is now contractually obligated.
Crazy. How do you feel about Jungle Cruise only pulling in $6 million this year? Big
I don't
drop
care.
this
I
week.
don't
Sorry.
care. It doesn't mean anything. It's Jungle Cruise. I've heard good things about it.
I as well.
Surprisingly. Some people have actually said that it's nice. That it's not.
I heard.
Movie.
So a review I heard was it's like National Treasure, which when I heard that my ears perked up. It's National Treasure, but more. There's more effects,
more action,
and it's more goofy. So when I heard that, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm in. I'm in." So
but
I might
when
watch
it comes to like goofy action heroes, I would take Nick Cage or The Rock.
True, yeah.
So, what can you do?
Because The Rock is in every goofy action movie.
Yeah, no surprises.
Minus Skyscrapers. You can't forget about Skyscraper.
Hell man. Move on. Move on. There's nothing else to talk about.
No, I don't really see anything else to talk about on this Box Office Mojo. A couple of other movies premiered, but it's none that are moving the needle.
Even though our topic is general news, looking at this right now, there's one piece of news we can talk about right now, and that is a certain movie that came out this weekend that you'll notice is not in the top spot. It is a little bit lower down. Oh, nope, up. Right there in ninth place. Good old Reminiscence.
Jesus Christ.
It's
Hugh Jackman, what are you doing?
Look at its opening.
Oh, man.
$1 million. Now that is bad.
That's a certified flop. That's an all-timer right there.
Yep. That's a certified flop.
The trailer...
That was a big complaint I saw.
Yeah, the trailer tells you nothing about the movie, which, I'm all for keeping the suspense of the movies to the minimum in trailers.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's the same thing that Blade Runner 2049 had. The same problem where nobody knew what this movie was going to be about.
I think the difference though is that people were inherently excited to see Blade Runner.
All 12 of us.
Yeah, all 12 of you guys. I mean, Reminiscence was produced by Jonathan Nolan, who is Christopher Nolan's brother. And I believe...
Directed by Lisa Joy. That's Jonathan Nolan's wife.
Yep, directed by his wife.
That's not no names because they most famously collaborated on Westworld.
Yeah. I believe they are showrunners for it. Yeah. So... these are these people who know science fiction, right? Westworld is a popular science fiction show. I think the problem a lot of people had with Reminiscence was A, the confusing trailer, and B, once they saw the movie, it was just generic. It was like a discount mishmash between Blade Runner and Inception. I heard it compared to both of those movies, which are good movies on their own. But I guess when you just do them but worse, you get Reminiscence.
Anytime I hear a movie is like Blade Runner or when that's the whole pitch it's like Inception or Blade Runner, I'm immediately out on it because
the Blade Runner one is funny because the original one flopped at the box office. Mm-hmm. The sequel to it flopped at the box office. Despite the fact it's so influential, it very clearly doesn't earn back its money at opening weekend.
46 on Metascore, 5.9 on IMDb. That's rough. That's because you can't even blame the pandemic on that.
No.
Like that's just you had a bad movie.
Well, here's one of the problems I have with it without even having to see the movie. If you described, just say you're gonna make a Blade Runner type movie, I don't think of Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Because Harrison Ford and Ryan Gosling are very similar in that they are very deadpan and stoic, just naturally.
Yeah.
Not even as the characters. They are just naturally like that. And so them playing, that cyberpunk futuristic aesthetic, that deadpan stoicism is so well associated with it, mainly because of Harrison Ford's role, actually.
In the original.
But Hugh Jackman just has a lot of charisma about him that I don't see in that genre. It's not associated with noir, right?
The same issue happened with Johnny Depp in what was that one movie by Wally Fisher?
Oh, Transcendence.
Yeah, it's the same thing. 'Cause I don't think you can't really say Johnny Depp is a science fiction actor.
No,
He's like a kooky character actor that
when
plays
you
these
think of
weird
Johnny
roles.
Depp, you think of like Edward Scissorhands or Pirates of the Caribbean. Or when I think
Yeah.
of Hugh Jackman, I think Wolverine or Greatest Showman.
Something like macho. Yeah.
Not just macho, but like a character role. Like, and a noir detective in a cyberpunk story is purposely low on character.
Yeah.
I mean, just the trope of the genre,
Mhm.
more or less. But it does not bode well for Nolan collaborators who go off on
No, it
solo
seems
projects.
like Nolan just doesn't have, as far as building a tree.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like in the NFL, right, or even in sports, professional sports, the way you measure a coach's success is kind of how well their subordinates do when they
Yeah.
go on their own.
Yeah.
Like NFL coaches, like Bill Parcells is the most famous one. He has not a million, but there's like 3 or 4 Hall of Fame quality coaches that were his coordinators.
Yeah.
And so when you look at Nolan and like people that Nolan works with, like Wally Fisher, the most famous one, I think Wally Fisher does now, and I'm not gonna rag on him for career choices.
For trying, yeah.
I think all he really does now is TV commercials. Obviously Nolan and Lisa Joy, they had Westworld, but it doesn't seem like their post Westworld careers off to a great start. Yeah, it's really interesting. Just to put in perspective of how big of a flop this is, though, 54 to $68 million was the budget, allegedly. 2 different numbers.
So the tens of millions.
Yeah, so this is not no, $6 million indie film. This was like a legit distributed by Warner Brothers production. And there's some legit talent here. I mean, we got Hugh Jackman, obviously. There's Rebecca Ferguson. I'm not even gonna try and say that name. Melanie Newton Parker. We've seen her in a couple roles. Cliff Curtis he's well known, I guess. Daniel Wu.
Yeah, Daniel Wu. I know him.
I mean, the music is composed by Ramin, however you say his name, the Game of Thrones composer. So like, there's real talent here to be had, and it's kind of crazy to see it just absolutely get destroyed.
Now, did you see the article that said that this movie flopped because it was aimed at older audiences?
Mm-mm.
I saw that, and most people had disagreed with that assessment. Maybe part of that is because Paw Patrol got 13 million in the same weekend that this movie got 1 million in opening. So, kids versus the older movie, I guess they're making the assumption the kids will win out. But yeah, I don't know. A movie like this,
Is this rated R?
is it rated R? I would think so. I'd have to say so. Yeah. Yeah. Just a bit of a shame, because I feel like if this was a few years ago, do you think that if this was like 2016, there would have been hype behind this movie? It was PG-13, by the way.
Yes, because this is peak Westworld, like that fascination with Westworld. So if you put from the creators of Westworld,
Yeah.
And then obviously Hugh Jackman, I think that was around the time he did, wasn't that
Logan.
around Logan and also The Showman, The Greatest Showman?
I
Right?
think Showman was after that.
Okay. Well, it's around
at least around Logan.
but it's around that time, right? Where it's like Hugh Jackman is going on this
He's relevant again.
Yeah, he's going on this late run after around Logan.
He had this incredible tear of one movie.
Hey man, he was good in The Prestige back in 2000. 6.
Logan was almost like a mini revival for him.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, because he hadn't been in the X-Men movies for a while.
I think it was before Logan. It was the Wolverine, which was 2013. Days of Future Past, I think. One of those was in 2013.
Yeah,
Like
it
that.
had been a while since
Yeah.
he was a superhero.
So,
Yeah, a bit of a shame.
do we think he goes back to being Wolverine after this?
This is still take him.
This is the kind of decision. This is the kind of movie that when it flops,
he goes back to what
he goes back to doing something safe. I could see it.
Yeah.
Like an eliminated role.
Maybe. Yeah. They'll do Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe and he'll reprise Wolverine.
He'll show up. Cool.
For reminiscence.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Some somewhat surprising news that I think we should touch on. This is coming via Deadline. Netflix is kind of on a roll right now. Surprisingly, during the pandemic. According to this article, which was released August 23rd via Mike Fleming Jr. Thank you, Mike Fleming. Netflix is producing 42 movies this fall. So within the next couple of months, the final 4 months of 2021, we're getting 43 new films out of Netflix.
Are they all American? At least in English? Because Netflix does a lot of foreign films too.
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say. Well, nonetheless, I mean, that's still a lot. I mean, here's the thing with Netflix movies. They're notoriously bad.
What's the last Netflix movie that you've seen that was actually good?
The last Netflix movie I saw that was
non-documentary, full feature narrative.
Probably Mank.
To go.
Yeah, which was produced for Netflix. Mm-hmm. Okay, so some of these I'm seeing are foreign films, which is understandable since Netflix basically is one of the few places that willingly will put foreign films out there, other than like the Criterion collection.
Yeah.
I think the problem with producing 42 films. What percentage of those are even going to be decent?
I would say less than 5.
I said the percentage. Less than 5%.
So whatever 5.
I was going to say, yeah, like.
Whatever 5 out of 43 is. I can't do the math on the top of my head right now.
I mean, I was going to say like maybe 30 of them aren't even.
30%?
No, not 30%.
30 total?
30 total out of 42 or 43. Because it's like. First off, yes, they can't all be good, but what even are they? They're mostly genre movies. Just scrolling through that list, you see a lot of horror, which understandable. You see a lot of Christmas, which is understandable for the fall season.
Probably
right?
see a couple of those, yeah.
Yeah, and even just seeing the names of some of the people, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Always.
We have not always been kind to the movies that he has been in. Although he's not always been in good movies anyway. Sad to say. But I don't know. I think this is part of Netflix's throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And I'm not particularly about that, personally. I don't know how you feel.
No, I am very much against that.
Yeah.
I think I'm on record saying I don't like that very much.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, I mean, for example, just seeing that right there, Don't Look Up, an Adam McKay directed satire. Now, Adam McKay did The Big Short, which was also a satire of a real life event. So maybe that one will be decent, you know?
I would hope so. Look at the cast.
I hope so, yeah. Well, you can't always judge the movie by the cast. I'm judging it by Adam McKay, who is historically good.
Yeah.
Right? Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's going to be quality. We know that much.
We should assume that one will be quality, but I don't know. it's coming out of a list of 43 movies that I'm just like, not all of these they're not all gonna be worth it.
It would not surprise me if this is the best one, best quote unquote. It's a subjective term out of the 43 that comes out. But it also wouldn't surprise me if this is the one nobody talks about that much.
Yeah,
because somebody is gonna hype up some mediocre
some
movie.
other thing.
Yes,
yeah.
Twitter or Reddit or some internet forum is gonna hype up this mediocre movie that is not gonna be my cup of tea. But everybody has their own takes or not takes, but tastes, I should say, as far as what they want to watch.
Well,
so.
I think Netflix tries to be the underdog, even though they're the largest in the world of streaming.
Mm-hmm.
They try to be the underdog and they try to sell their movies as sleeper hits. That's what they're really about. Is, they're still acting like their movies are just indie movies that no one is talking about, even though you'll see advertising for it everywhere. They act like all their movies are going to be sleeper hits, even though everyone has Netflix. Everyone's going to see these ads. Everyone is going to know that these movies are out. So yeah, I don't think the Adam McKay one will get a lot of marketing. I think it will probably be just judging by the genre and the people behind it. It would probably be good. But I don't know. I think Netflix is shooting itself in the foot a little bit.
It also should be noted that there's probably a couple of movies that are being pushed back because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Well, I think to a degree, Netflix is also trying to force the hand of other companies getting into streaming by saying you're still doing theatrical releases and you're doing, 15 movies a year, via theater, and then you're putting them on streaming.
Yeah.
Well, we're just doing 43 movies and putting them all on streaming. What are you going to do about
it? You guys still got to catch up.
Yeah. Not only do you guys have to catch up, but it's a reason for people to stay with us.
Yeah.
We're not going to lose anybody to you, but you might lose people to us.
Sure.
That's probably Netflix's game plan.
Thought process.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to watch. Obviously, as of now, we don't really have a lot of titles or synopsis,
descriptions.
Sure, yeah, that works too. For a lot of these movies, we're getting a lot of just titles.
Yeah, no trailers.
Not even names attached to them.
Nope.
So it'll be interesting. Anyways, you have any news?
Do I have any news?
Yeah.
Well, what do you got still? You got a lot of articles up there.
I got a couple.
Fast and Furious 10. Hold on.
Yeah, it's just a little mini press junk.
That is.
So Fast and Furious 10 set for April 2023.
All right, is this gonna be the last one?
No, I don't think so.
That is.
He said, okay, so let's read this article real quick. I didn't read this article.
Okay, so there will be a 10th and an 11th movie.
Okay, so they're talking about the 11th being the end.
Okay, so 11 Fast and Furious movies. That is crazy.
Who would have thought?
Apparently them.
After like 5, I think we were all prepared to be, let's end this.
Yeah.
And somehow they decided to come
what
out
haven't
with
they
6
done yet?
more.
They've gone to space.
They went to space.
Yeah. No, I'm saying what haven't they done?
What haven't they done?
They've gone to space.
Yeah.
They've done planes.
Yeah.
They've done trains.
Submarines.
I was gonna say submarines. Yeah. What's
they
left?
Did the rope swinging off of the bridge with the car.
What's left?
Really, all there's left is like Batman and Superman to show up and fight.
You know
Dominic
what's
Toretto.
hilarious? You know what's actually really, really funny about this franchise? Is it's both escalated and de-escalated.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's gone from what cool car stuff can we do with each new installment to we've done everything.
With the cool
now
car
all
stuff.
we can do is just have people drive. Like now we need a story.
I'm gonna laugh if the last 2 films are super low key, just like the original.
That's what I honestly think is gonna happen. I'm predicting that right now. I'm saying they have to de-escalate.
That would be hilarious.
It's just a story,
Yeah.
or it's gonna be like I don't know, flashback sequence or something like that. Like it's gonna be a prequel.
My question is, what are they gonna do about? Oh, a prequel would be interesting.
Yeah.
My question would be, what are they gonna do about Paul Walker? Because they alluded to his character being back with the family at the end of this last one.
So
the rumor on the
CGI?
street is they're gonna use his brother. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, his brother. Or
I feel
CGI.
like I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I think that's just I don't know. If you need, I don't know.
Yeah, CGI sounds nicer to his memory than just using his brother.
Yeah.
But
I just think it's weird.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it would probably look nicer than CGI.
You could.
I mean, the CGI wasn't bad. If you watch clips, even if you just watch clips from it,
you could notice though after like the third time of him looking over to Vin Diesel, you were like, all right, they ran this footage. Like,
yeah,
they're just reusing the same stuff.
Yeah, but nonetheless, no, I honestly think they're gonna have to de-escalate it, unless it's like, imagine if they just go so far in the opposite direction that it's like they're literally gonna like set off a nuke or something like that. That's gonna be the 7th film. He has to drive like it's Batman. It's The Dark Knight Rises, where he has the nuke attached, and he has to drive off and blow himself up. It's gonna be like that.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Where can they go?
I don't really know what they can do, but it'll be interesting to watch. Another one that I thought was pretty interesting to look at. Hotel Transylvania 4 is officially skipped the movie theater kind of film in franchise.
It's going straight to streaming.
A lot of animated movies usually do this with a sequel. Hotel Transylvania 4 is doing it with their 4th installment, which I thought was surprising.
Well, okay, when you say, it's important to note, you say most animated movies do this. That comes from the direct-to-DVD days when Disney would do sequels that they knew nobody was going to watch anyway. Sure. So, understandable. Like, as a trend in animated films, that's where that comes from, is, like, there's Mulan 2, there's a Mulan 3, I think.
There's 3 Cinderellas.
There's multiple Lion Kings. But nobody watches them because they're all direct-to-DVD.
Yeah.
They just went straight to video. And they never came out in theaters. And Disney doesn't even acknowledge them. They don't acknowledge their existence. I would be surprised if they're even on Disney Plus. They're probably locked up in the vault in the bowels of Disney. But I mean, I think this though is more COVID related than any like franchise strength related. Because the assumption is to say, like what you said, it's going to streaming probably because of the strength of the franchise. It's Hotel Transylvania. It's the 4th one. Did we even need a sequel anyway? Now we have 4 of them. But knowing both, first off, the success of the series, that all 3 movies are actually pretty well received, and the directors, Genndy Tartakovsky, or Genndy, however you pronounce his last name. I said Tartakovsky, and
we'll go with that.
That's actually a different director. However you pronounce his name, Genndy, like freaking guy who did Samurai Jack. I think it's his decision that this is more of a COVID related thing than him knowing it's a kids movie. He probably was like, I'm not putting this in theaters.
Yeah,
I'm not forcing kids to go to theaters.
That's probably true. It is interesting to note, though, Adam Sandler not going to be in this one. So I think, do you think that maybe impacted their decision to go streaming as well? Because the whole selling point of these movies was Adam Sandler and Selena Gomez.
Yeah,
and now you lose half
Adam
of that.
Sandler. That might be it. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess I could say so. Because, I mean, that happened to Divergent, where they lost their entire cast, and then they made them TV movies.
I do remember.
And
the last
those
one
haven't even come out,
Yeah,
so
I remember that one.
Maybe that is a sign of, hey, it's the 4th one. What are we doing here? maybe it's just the fact that he left and they were like, well, it's still COVID related. Like they might be separate issues.
Sure,
Something
sure.
like that.
In a related news, Sony is let the new Venom movie back to October. It was originally supposed to be released in September. They're now moving it back a month. Looks like it's gonna be another COVID related issue.
Understandable. It also just feels like a October movie, doesn't it?
Kind of horror-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Venom. Did you see the first one?
No.
Heard mixed things.
I did as well, and I was
Yeah.
very surprised we actually got a second. Well, I guess it sold very well. Anytime
Yeah.
a movie sells very well, you're gonna
Yeah.
get a second one
For sure.
So that's that. Here's. Oh, did you have anything?
I'll say this though about the Venom stuff. Tom Hardy would have been a better Punisher than the Venom, in my opinion.
Interesting.
I think if Tom Hardy was Punisher, that would have been.
How do you feel about John Berthnall? Did you ever watch that series?
He looks like Punisher.
I was gonna say he looks the part.
I think Tom Hardy acts like Punisher. Because I'm thinking of like Bronson and like his role in The Revenant. You
That's a
know,
good one.
roles
Yeah,
like that, very like that has the vibe of Punisher.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like John, what's his last name? You know how to pronounce it, and I don't. You just said it.
What?
The actor who plays Punisher.
John Berthnall?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, John Berthnall.
He looks the part. And I can't, fault him for that. But I don't know. I feel like for a good pick for Punisher, it would have been one of those two guys.
Andy Serkis is the director. Do you know that?
Really?
They finally let him not play a creepy CGI monster.
To me, that means it's going to be a lot of special effects.
He throws himself in there?
Not that he throws himself in there, just that's his world.
He's in one
His
scene.
world is motion capture.
If I don't see a Gollum sequence in this movie, I'm gonna be upset.
All right, move on.
Home Alone's getting a reboot.
Why? Is that the kid from Jojo Rabbit?
Yes.
Really?
He's actually really funny in Jojo Rabbit. You haven't seen Jojo, right?
I have seen Jojo Rabbit.
You have seen Jojo?
I have since seen
love
it.
Jojo.
Yeah. He's the guy. He's the little kid who's like, it's a bad day to be a Nazi.
He's like, what does Jojo say? I have a girlfriend. You have a girlfriend? How great for you, Jojo. Yeah, but she's a Jew. Who cares? We're all gonna die anyways, or something like that.
Yeah, he was actually pretty good.
He's hilarious. The only reason I'm excited,
That's the only
not
reason?
really excited for this would be because he's in it. I'm not really against this one as much. Are you? I'm against Disney doing it because Disney needs to stop doing everything. But
so wait,
Archie Yates, by the way, is the name of that
that's
kid.
his name, Archie Yates.
Yeah. Stars also is gonna have Ellie Kemper, Rob Delaney. I don't know any. Kenan Thompson. Interesting to see him away from SNL.
It's also going to be an original movie. So
Correct.
It's not going to be theatrical.
Correct.
It's going to be a Disney Channel movie.
Just straight Disney Plus.
And it is just going to Disney Plus.
Just going to
Disney.
Yeah.
I will allow it to exist without much judgment. I don't care.
Because let's be real. Home Alone is not one of the greatest movies. It's not like this masterpiece. It's just a nostalgic Christmas movie.
Yeah. And it got away with having an undeserved sequel that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2. There's a third one, right?
Yeah, but it's a whole different kid.
Yeah.
Still stars
Joe Pesci.
And the other Joe guy. Pesci's still in, I think.
Nice. Yeah, nah, I don't care whatsoever. I'm not gonna watch it.
I probably won't. What?
Who is gonna watch it? Because people who love the original are just gonna watch the original, and people who want their kids to know Home Alone are just gonna show them the original.
Do we know that though?
Yeah,
we say that every time a remake is made,
every time there's a remake.
And then these remakes make bank.
Yeah, true.
So, and plus it's free. It's not gonna be one of those premiere access things. It's releasing, I guess, right around the holidays. So,
What do you think of the title?
What is the title?
Home Sweet Home Alone.
Nah, that's a Disney title for sure. Um, yeah, not against. I would be interesting to see though because the original is so dated as far as like its premise.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they keep him home, how he stays home alone.
It's like Taken. It's like you can't get taken more than 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you can't be left home alone more than 3 times.
Like, Taken made sense because the phones that we carried in our pockets,
Yeah.
they didn't have GPS in them.
Yeah.
And they were flip phones. But now, like, you can't make Taken now unless you date it to be the
that
mid
old
2010s. Yeah.
And even for this, it's like, well, what are you gonna? You should be able to just call. I don't know.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
Find my iPhone.
You'd have to come up with like some really weird, convoluted, like the family's Amish and they don't have any technology. They can't phone home.
I wonder if it's still going to be set in New York.
Well, it's British, so it's going to be set in London.
Is it British?
Disney plus UK.
Where? Where do you see that at?
Just go down.
Oh, that's... Huh. Interesting.
Besides, most of those actors are British anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even... This
It's
is why you
in London.
This is why you should read articles before you go on a podcast, kids. Interesting.
I told you.
So it does come out in November. So yeah, it's gonna do well.
Huh.
All right. Speaking of reboots, Waterworld's getting a TV series.
Waterworld.
Oh, I didn't even know this was a thing.
I like how even in the first line of the article they mention how terrible of a movie it is.
It's like, isn't it one of the most like over budget?
Yeah,
like almost killed at least every single main cast member at least once.
Probably.
Like one of the worst sets to work on.
It was just a Kevin Costner vehicle, which is just a vanity project. But it was massively over budget, massively over time, and overproduced, and it didn't work.
It made Apocalypse Now look like...
Imagine a mixture between the old Cleopatra, you know, that the historical movie epic Cleopatra.
How expensive it was.
Imagine that mixed with like, oh, I don't even know. I had like
there really is no movie that has done
Jungle Cruise
crazy. There's really no movie that's done like, I don't think it's been more of a headache to produce. Maybe Apocalypse Now, but Apocalypse Now was purely just because of like Coppola.
There are here's actually what's funny is that historically in the history of cinema, there are movies like this. The massive vanity project epics, Cleopatra, which famously failed. Heaven's Gate, which famously failed. Waterworld, which famously failed. Apocalypse Now, which famously did not fail.
The Wall-E film.
The only one, well, one of the only ones, because then you go back into like Ben-Hur and Bridge Over River Kwai.
Well, that's just because studios didn't know what they were doing back then. Yeah.
And also because those movies weren't vanity projects for people, whereas all those other ones were. So, I mean, if we're doing... I'll say this.
Have you seen this movie?
Parts of it.
Okay.
I've never bothered watching all of it.
Okay.
I remember it was on TV one time, and my dad was like, hey, you want to see something bad? We'll watch a few minutes of this. I'll say this, because he also showed me parts of Heaven's Gate. It was like the first 5 minutes, and then he just changed the channel. He was like, we're not watching the rest of it. It's not going to be worth it. I'll say this, though. One of the advantages to being in a culture that accepts remakes and reboots of old material is you can give second chances to things that failed.
Yeah.
Even though most people aren't taking it and they're rebooting already successful things like
The Lion King
or Home Alone,
Mulan,
stuff like that. I think taking an older movie that maybe had potential but was misplaced and then failed, you can redo it in a sense. Now, it being a TV show, I think makes sense.
I think it makes it
because
work better.
the scale that was intended for the original movie,
Will be way down.
yeah. Well, not only that, but it will come across better in the TV show.
I think so as well.
Because you can't. I mean, the movie itself was almost like 3 hours long, so it's like,
who's gonna sit for one time and watch
Yeah.
a whole 3 hours? Yeah.
well, not only that, but a 3 hour movie of just Kevin Costner trying to show off how hot he is. So it's like doing it as a TV show. It's like they're gonna give it story. They're gonna add more characters, stuff like that. That's what I see is gonna come from it.
It is going to be 20 years later from the movie, and
So-
not just rebooting the movie straight up.
This is their way of saying you had good ideas, you just executed it poorly.
Yeah.
We're taking your world and your
world,
ideas, and we're getting rid of you.
Do you know any movies that could do that now? I mean, the one that we thought that would succeed was Blade Runner, and it
Yeah,
didn't.
it didn't, because they took just the universe.
Yeah.
and they kind of took the character as well.
They took a character.
a character. That's interesting because there are definitely universes that I think are cool, but like, would you see other stories in those universes, like Dune, Fifth Element, maybe, stuff like that, where they're bad movies, but they have cool ideas in them, so you might be able to do something else with them. But I don't know.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head
Those would be my two.
because I usually don't watch bad movies anyways.
I know who does.
So it's like I'm not sitting here watching, and be like, "Oh my god, that's a dope world."
Yeah.
Maybe the Percy Jackson series.
I was gonna say Percy Jackson. I was like, take that universe, do something else with it.
Yeah. This quote was interesting. This is from the producer John Davis. The only movie that I went back recently that we made and rewatched, and I was surprised at how well it held up, is Waterworld. For many years, I really didn't want to see it because I thought the movie didn't work. It wasn't what the script was. It was not as good as the script. It had its production problems. And then I went back and saw it again. It's like, oh yeah, this movie ages great with time. Does that bode well for the TV series, or bad that he's hyping up the original movie?
No, if they believe in it, they believe in it.
Directed by Dan Trachtenberg, director of 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was a pretty solid movie.
But that tells me that this is gonna be more
Feels like it's gonna
dramatic
be, yeah,
than genre,
yeah.
which I don't like the sound of.
Mhm.
I prefer if this was more of a genre
Just
movie.
straight epic adventure.
Yeah,
In water.
yeah.
I could see it. Yeah, totally.
So
That's all the news I had for today. Do you have any that you wanted
that's
to?
all the news that you had for today, my
Yeah,
guy.
I mean, we spent like 30 minutes looking up news articles.
True. Well, all right. Let's talk about the Spider-Man trailer.
Oh, that should be noted.
Yeah.
First Marvel movie I'm actually kind of hyped to go
No
see.
Way Home. This one is called
Don't
No
like the
Way
title.
Home.
Hate
You don't
the
like
title.
it? No Way
I
Home?
don't like the whole home thing.
What
they're
would you
doing.
prefer they called it?
Into the multiverse or something?
Please do not come back home.
I don't know. It's something about the multiverse. Would have been cooler. What is that Spider-Man game where it's the multiverse? It's like Spider-Man
Into the Multiverse?
Shattered Webs or some Shattered
Oh, I
Dimensions or
don't
something like that. That would have been dope.
Shattered Webs is a pretty cool title, though.
I think it is Shattered Webs actually.
Oh, that's good. That's sick. What do you think about Alfred
Molina.
coming back as Doc
Yo,
Ock?
he comes out. I know you haven't seen the trailer, so I'm kind of spoiling it for you.
I don't care.
He comes out and he's like, "Hello, Parker," and I was like, "Oh god."
Not bad.
It was pretty cool. It's like a good blast from the past.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shot of the Green Goblin ball rolling on the floor, and then you hear a laugh. And I'm like, "Oh, are they really about to bring?" I thought Norman Osborn was gonna come out and be like, "Do you know how much I've sacrificed?"
You know what I think it's gonna be? And this is gonna be, I think it's not gonna be Norman Osborn, it's gonna be his son.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that happens in the comics.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um
A lot of people think it's gonna be they're gonna try and unite all three franchises. They think Toby and Garfield are gonna show up.
that'd be cool. Well, if it's gonna be about the multiverse, then yeah.
I think
They're
that
gonna come.
I mean Alfred Molina is in it, so
Yeah.
That universe does exist in the MCU.
As long as they also bring in Spider-Gwen, that would be fine. I wouldn't mind that.
What if we see? What if we see the Into the Spider-Verse characters pop out?
But it's like the actual animated version.
Honestly, if they did that, that would be pretty dope.
Like Who Framed Roger,
I would be down
Roger
with that
Rabbit
if
style.
they did that. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see that.
Excited for it.
Yeah.
Were you not excited to see the other ones though?
As far as MCU movies?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No, the only other Spider-Man. So December 17th is when it comes out. Nice.
Wow.
The only other MCU movie I was really excited to see was probably Endgame. No, Infinity War. But even then, I wasn't really in desire to go see Infinity War. It was just kind of like this is gonna be a major event. I guess I'll go see it.
Just to be able to catch up.
Yeah, after Civil War, like, my hype for the MCU kind of died down.
Why after Civil War specifically?
Because Civil War, they were hyping it up as like, oh, some of our heroes are gonna die, and this is gonna be a fight that shatters everything that we know. And then nobody died. And then it was a fight in a parking lot. And then it only lasted one movie. So it was like, did we really do anything here? It's like, why are you gonna hype it up to be this cataclysmic
event
that's gonna change the world when nothing changed?
Yeah. Understandable.
So I was just like, it's okay.
Yeah.
After that, I was just kind of out on the MCU. But I think I'm back in. At least my feet are in.
Now, here's another franchise for you to get back into. Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I did hear about that.
It is not a sequel to the all-female Ghostbusters. It is a sequel to the original and the Ghostbusters 2. It's a sequel to those ones. So, they're bringing back the franchise, but they're not continuing with their original bringing back the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting. I guess there is lore to be had in the Ghostbusters universe now.
Supposedly, I guess. Let's see the cast here. So McKenna Grace, she's been in a lot of kids movies.
Finn Wolfhard is in it.
Finn Wolfhard, obviously.
Bill Murray.
That is Paul Rudd, Bill Murray,
and Dan Aykroyd.
So the originals are back.
Yeah.
There's Hudson, Sigourney Weaver. Was she in the original?
Yes.
Okay.
She played. Do you remember where there was the girl who has the spiritual things happen to her?
Dude, I've seen like 15 minutes of Ghostbusters.
Really? You haven't seen the original?
We watched it for prom my junior year, and then everybody fell asleep. It was like 4 in the morning.
Well, there you go.
We were watching it after, the after party or whatever, and then we just all passed out.
Yes, she is in the original.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I sound like a fake film fan for not watching Ghostbusters.
Fake film fan for not knowing.
In my defense, though, I never was around a physical copy of Ghostbusters, so
it's a good movie. I would recommend it. But nonetheless, this is
November 11th is the release.
I don't know.
Surprised it's not coming out for Halloween? I guess it would be competing against Halloween and Venom.
Yeah, it would compete against actual Halloween movies.
Yeah, the Halloween Kills or whatever the sequels.
Here's the thing, though. Ghostbusters, I feel like, is a comedy, not a horror movie.
Okay.
I mean, even the original is a comedy. It's not even scary.
But you can have like a creepy comedy, like not Ghostbusters. The book series Goosebumps. Wasn't Goosebumps released around Halloween time?
Yeah, but
and that was a comedy.
Well, I guess they have different angles. I believe you. I just think for Ghostbusters, it's just, to me, it's a comedy first, because it's not even meant to be like spoopy. It's just funny.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen it, so
We recommend it. We recommend it.
Yeah, I'll
I
have to check it out.
have seen parts of the second one too, but
So are you excited for this third installment?
no, because I literally have never cared about any sequel to Ghostbusters. I seen parts of the second one because I was like, oh, they made a sequel to it, so I remember
Yeah.
watching some of it. It has Bill Murray in it.
Yeah.
He breaks his famous rule of never doing sequels.
Of
He's
course,
only
once
done
they
that
give you-
twice.
Once they give you that paycheck, you just have to.
He's only done it twice. He did it in Ghostbusters 2 and Garfield 2. A Tale of Two Kitties.
Oh god, I remember that movie.
No, the original one is good. Anything after that, I don't care if it's the sequel. I don't care if it's the all-female one.
You're
I don't
not
care
into
if it's
it?
This one doesn't really need to exist.
Fair point. Fair point.
Personally, yeah, Ghostbusters is not that
I think-
sacred of a franchise.
I think those are the only trailers that are been released this week, right?
Yeah, not much really. There's just minor casting.
Yeah, Wes Anderson
Wes Anderson
dropping out bombs left and right.
He has apparently he just went up to the menu and said, "I'll have one of everything."
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
He did the whole Ron Swanson Parks and Rec. I want all the bacon you have. No, you misheard me. You might have misheard me. I didn't say I want a lot of bacon. I want all the bacon you have, or something like that. He basically did that.
Yeah, just with actors.
Scarlett Johansson, Margot Robbie,
Bill Murray, obviously.
Bill Murray,
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody. There was somebody else.
I even think
I
Owen
think-
Wilson.
Is it
Is it what?
Idris Elba?
Oh yeah, I believe Idris Elba is going to be in it.
So it's coming out. This is not for anybody who's probably keeping up with Wes Anderson. This is not the French Dispatch. This is his next movie.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, we have Scarlett, Tom Hanks, Margot Robbie, Tilda Swinton, sorry, Bill Murray, Bryan Cranston
Nice.
are the quote unquote A-listers. We also have Adrian Brody, Jason Schwartzman, TV actor, Liev Schreiber, Rupert Friend, Hope Davis, Jeffrey Wright.
So a lot of people. A lot of people.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Since you admitted earlier today that you don't know if you've ever even seen a Wes Anderson
Yeah,
movie.
I'm sure I have at
How
some
do you
point.
feel about the hype around his name?
I mean, everybody who I've talked to about Wes Anderson movies are always like, his movies are so.
Particular.
Yeah, there's like a specific aesthetic to it,
Mhm.
which I think why people enjoy it because they enjoy watching that,
Style.
technique and
Yeah.
formula that he uses. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, you like this director, like you're not a true film fan.
Yeah.
Like my favorite director is Christopher Nolan. I don't have any room to talk. I understand. But I will say it sometimes it does get a little. Like, I remember freshman year especially, kids were always like, "Oh, have you seen this Wes Anderson movie? And have you seen this Wes Anderson movie?"
For me, the problem is
And
when-
they always made you feel. They always were condescending and made you feel like you're not a true film major for not watching
I never came across
such
anyone
and
that
such
was like
Wes
that.
Anderson movies.
I think for me, the thing with Wes Anderson is that his style is so particular and it's so exact that it's so obvious when people are copying him.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of independent, just like short films and even music videos, particularly a lot of music videos that have the exact symmetry and the super pastel color palettes to them.
He
And
pulls up on my film Instagram pages a whole lot.
yeah, and I'm like, it's frames from it are nice to look at, but seeing an entire movie of it, it's like, well, it's just an aesthetic.
Yeah,
I don't feel like it really adds.
it's not
anything
groundbreaking.
storytelling
Yeah.
wise.
It's just his style.
Yeah, which you might argue he's a little style over substance in some of his movies.
Sure.
I would, but I just want you to know your opinion as an outsider. Which, by the way, The Outsiders is getting
the book?
The movie. The Francis
getting
Ford
a
Coppola.
sequel?
Not getting a sequel. It's getting re-released on
Nice.
4K, of all things.
Cool.
So for all the people who haven't read a book since middle school, you can.
The Outsiders was probably the last book you
The
read.
Outsiders is probably the last book you read. That or Lord of the Flies, one of those two.
Yeah. I like that movie.
LMAO.
I like the movie and I like that book.
Yeah, very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
The movie's pretty good too.
I got a question for you about this Wes Anderson movie, though. Do you
Oh,
think... Because there's no way this movie's going to be like $100,000 million
In budget or box office?
budget.
Okay.
So the fact he's able to afford all these A-listers and some quality B and C listers, do you think actors are starting to go more towards, let me take less on movies that I know that are going to sell well, or that are I'm going to work with a big director, and then it'll help propel my career even further? Because like Margot Robbie, she's in damn Suicide Squad. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't need to be doing these art house films, quotation marks. Or like Scarlett Johansson as well.
I think it's a combination of, first off, yes, actors have historically taken less pay in order to increase the budget for a movie.
Right.
And a lot of independent movies that's been done. I think Keanu Reeves did that on John Wick.
Jonah Hill, most famously for Wolf of Wall Street, took the minimum, which if I remember correctly, the Guild did not like at all.
So what can you do? I mean, it's their decisions, their money.
Sure.
You know, they just want to be in good movies. There you go. I think this is a bit. I mean, Wes Anderson has a bit of that Woody Allen effect, where it's just people just want to work with him.
Sure.
Whether it's because of his style or just the kind of movies he does, or maybe he's just a really nice guy for some reason.
Got to work with.
People just want to work with him, you know? And it's like Woody Allen does. I mean, no one's going to see Woody Allen movies anymore. But back in the day, it was like, you know, he would just go up to the menu and say, I want one of everything. I want you.
Mm-hmm.
And they would all say, yeah, sure, I'll be in your movie. So I don't know if they were taking, you know, the minimum pay back then in order to be in them, because his movies were always pretty low budget anyway.
Yeah.
But I just think that's just, I mean, Bill Murray famously doesn't have a cell phone, and yet he's in every Wes Anderson movie because he just likes the guy. He just likes working with Wes Anderson. And I think he's admitted that. So it's, you know, what can you do? Bill Murray is probably like, what do you want? You know, how much are you going to pay me?
Yeah.
He's like, you want pizza tonight? He's like, yeah, sure, I'll be in your movie.
Probably. That would be the life, right?
He probably pays Bill Murray in security.
Just buy me a 6-pack.
If you're in my movie, you won't have to do an interview. You will not be in the press packet.
Have you seen the trailer for The French Dispatch?
I told you I don't watch
You
trailers.
don't watch trailers, that's right. Have you seen the cast for The French Dispatch?
No, I have not.
There's a cast. Bill Murray.
Bill
Obviously.
Murray. What do you think about Timothy Chalamet?
You know how I feel about Timothy Chalamet.
That's why
I don't think he should be a leading man. I think he's a good heartthrob. I don't know. I can't buy him as a leading man.
So we see regular collaborators: Adrian Brody, Bill Murray, Tilda Swinton, and
This is a pretty big cast as well for The French
Jason
Dispatch. I
Schwartzman,
didn't realize
yeah.
this was this big.
Christopher Waltz. So, well, that's just Wes Anderson's thing now. He does these ensemble movies.
Yeah.
I mean, freaking look at the cast list for Grand Budapest Hotel. That's like
Yeah,
twice
that's a
as
big
long
cast.
as this one. So,
$25 million budget. And he has Defoe, Norton, Schreiber, Elizabeth Moss, who's on fire right now because of Handmaid's Tale. Christoph Waltz, Saoirse Ronan, who's also on fire right now. Like, these are not cheap actors.
but they just want to be
But
in
I
these
guess
movies.
they just want to work with him
Yeah.
so much.
What can you do?
Yeah.
Can't blame him.
It's pretty cool. Pretty
Won't see it, but can't
pretty
blame
cool
him.
to see a big cast of big directors or big actors. Excuse me.
Well, here's the thing. I'll say this. part of the reason why I think people like working with directors like this, why this ever even happens, is because it's really dependent on the director. You've never seen a Wes Anderson movie, so you can't comment on this. But in my opinion, I don't know. The way Wes Anderson directs, even the way he directs his actors, is very particular. And I just don't like it that much. My favorite Wes Anderson movies are Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs. They're animated. There aren't just voice acting. Because when it comes to how he directs actors, I'm like, it's so not to my taste. It's kind of bland, flat. Everyone just kind of is very deadpan.
Yeah.
And there's almost not much acting into it, which is just his sense of humor, But nonetheless, when it comes to people like, for instance, Woody Allen would famously just not direct his actors. He would just give them the script and say, all right,
do what you want to do.
Yeah, do what you want to do. Joel and Ethan Coen, who also work with large ensemble casts in a lot of their films, they are very similar in that way. They're like, do what you want with the character. We'll still give you direction, but do what you want with the character. And they also will get, like, what was the one about with George Clooney in it that had a huge ensemble cast? It was called Caesars something.
Oh, I think it was just Caesars.
Caesars. There was that one. There was Burn After Reading, which had a big ensemble cast as well. There was their Netflix one. They did the Netflix movie. So, Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar. That was it. So, yeah. I don't know. Because I always get I don't like seeing ensemble casts like this. I mean, it's different when it's like a small cast and they're all A-list actors. But when it's a big cast and they're all A-list actors, that's when I get worried. Because it's like, can you as the director actually direct all these people?
Yeah.
Because like, for instance, we were talking about Inception having a bit of an ensemble cast, but it's like, they're A-list actors, but it's only like, 6 people. This is like 12. This isn't even 12. This is probably like 15 people. And they're all big names. Even if they're not all A-list. Like Bill Murray probably isn't considered an A-list actor, but he's still Bill Murray.
Yeah. Yeah. They're still going to put his name on the poster probably.
Yeah. So, actually, if you can find, it's actually really funny too. If you look at the poster, see if you can zoom in and see if it will list the actors' names on it. Because actors' names are listed in order of billing.
Oh, that's...
So if you find a poster that has the actors' names on it, whoever's names comes first is the highest billed actor.
It's probably going to be Timothy, huh?
Nope, look at that. Bill Murray, right?
Francis McDormand, Bill Murray, and Jeffrey Wright. So I was right.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
There you go.
Wow. This one's better. Brody, Del Toro, Wilson. Oh, Wilson. Timothy.
Yeah, Owen Wilson.
Timotei, sorry.
Is that how it's pronounced?
I think so. It's French.
Well, I mean, Timothy just sounds better. Timotei.
I think as well.
Timotei sounds like the South Park character.
Yeah, Timotei, if you're listening to this, Timothy, Tim, whatever the hell your name is, change your name, please.
Don't tell him that. Just say change the pronunciation. Jake Gyllenhaal is supposed to be pronounced Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal, because he's Swedish.
Yeah.
All
right.
Anything else?
Yes, I have one last question for you.
Okay.
We're this far into the year. We're getting towards fall. Can you think off the top of your head your potential list of Oscar nominations?
The Green Knight.
For Best Picture. I knew you were going to say Green Knight. For Best Picture.
Oh.
Green Knight will probably still be there.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at the movies that are coming out. It's not really a whole lot of like movies that the Oscars likes.
Yeah,
The French Dispatch is more than likely
probably going to be there. Yeah.
Just because it's a Wes Anderson film, and Anderson films lend themselves well to the Academy.
Does Dune come out this year?
Dune does come out this year. I don't
Nah.
think it's gonna be a Best Picture nominee.
It will be
The
nominated for
Academy
stuff.
is notoriously anti-blockbuster, unless it's Black Panther.
Well, they're anti-genre films. Blockbusters
That
they don't
as
care
well.
about because they've nominated Jaws, they've nominated
Yeah,
Star
but that
Wars.
was years ago. I'm talking about in recent trends. We just had this whole discussion like 2 months ago.
But you also just contradicted it when you said that they at least nominated Black Panther.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Black
Yeah.
Panther is the exception, not the rule.
Okay.
I don't think they're very much anti-blockbuster, so I don't think Dune has a lot going for it. I don't think it's gonna be there. I can't really. What is it? 10 nominees.
Yeah. I don't feel like there's been 10 movies.
Do we think Black Widow's gonna be there?
Well, if they're anti-blockbuster, probably gonna be
But Disney owns ABC.
true. Yeah, maybe.
That was one of the big conspiracies behind Black Panther was
Really? That's
Disney owns
understandable.
ABC. So and ABC's been taking a hit on the Oscars.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I don't think it will be. That's just me being
Mm.
conspiracy theorist. Trying to think of all the movies I've seen this year. Not a lot.
I know.
There's not really been a
like
lot
I
of
said,
movies.
there's not. It hasn't even really been 10 movies. I feel like that you could.
That's what I'm saying.
So
We're gonna
far,
have
solidly
like
list.
2 or 3 movies that don't
Yeah.
deserve to be there because
We just need 10
to the Oscars.
Yeah.
But we need 10. Let's see movies. Are we thinking Jungle Cruise?
No, not Jungle Cruise. Oh yes, Free Guy. Is Free Guy going to be?
Let's see here. Minari?
No, that was nominated
Oh,
last
that was
year.
last year. That was
Yeah,
last year.
that was last year.
Yeah.
I think. this
As
will
of right
be-
now, we're probably gonna see either United States versus Billie Holiday or RESPECT.
Yeah.
Just because it's
Is that what it's supposed to be called?
I don't know. That's just
It's not.
I'm
just
naming
called
it's because it's a
Respect?
movie. That's why.
Okay. Understandable.
But because these are like iconic characters,
Yeah.
or people, I should say, in American culture and stuff like that. Oh man, Matrix 4. Do we think Matrix 4 is in there?
No. Ooh, Beckett. I heard a lot of good stuff about Beckett.
Did you? Because it has a 52 on Metascore.
It also has a good soundtrack. The guy
Fair,
who did the
fair.
music. I mean, you said Green Knight was going to be there and it has a 6.9.
Yeah, but it has an 85 Metascore.
Shut up.
Oscars aren't gonna look at the Metascore.
Oscars, you look at the Metascore for them?
Because that's the critics.
Okay.
That's the people who put these movies in the Oscars in the first place.
Okay. I mean,
Stillwater. Do we think Stillwater could be there?
well, apparently not because it has a 60% on Metascore.
Old.
Do you think Old
is gonna be there.
You think it's going
I
to be
think it's
there?
gonna be
I
there.
think it's going to be nominated for Best Special Effects.
I think it's gonna be there.
I don't think it's going to be nominated for Best Picture.
It's because it's the counter jerk against M. Night Shyamalan, which
Yeah.
only should ever go one way, and that's against M. Night.
Yeah.
But because we're now liking M. Night Shyamalan again, I think he's gonna be there.
nominated.
I think he's gonna be there.
Paw Patrol.
I mean, look at the rest of this list.
Yeah, true. Space Jam.
Space Jam won't be there. Cruella.
Sadly,
No.
no. Luca.
Respect. I think Respect will be there.
I think
Luca will
Respect
be there, but it'll
Luca
be-
will probably be Best Animated Picture.
Yeah,
that will
for sure,
probably
for
win
sure.
that.
Other than that, I mean, now we're getting into like the bad
Nothing
movies I haven't
stands
even
out.
heard of. No Time to Die. Maybe.
Nah.
But then again, it's a franchise movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could
No.
see it winning best score or being nominated for best score because it's Billie
James
Eilish
Bond. Yeah.
and it's a James Bond movie.
The original song, it always wins for that whenever it comes out.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Other than that, though, yeah, I don't feel like there's really been 10 movies that have.
Are worthy of being at the Oscars.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a Netflix movie somewhere that we're gonna see.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Sweet
it
Girl.
be-
Not Sweet
I-
Girl. Sorry. That was a different movie. Yeah, I don't know. There's
don't know.
not. Honestly, I think Free Guy's gonna be there.
Why?
Just we
Why
need
would you
10
do that to us?
We need 10 movies to be at the Oscars,
Okay.
and it's an original movie starring
Mhm.
Ryan Reynolds,
Mm-hmm.
and it's this. I'm assuming it's like this feel good anti-caste system movie, right? Because it's this NPC character breaking him mold.
I think the Adam McKay movie from Netflix is going to be there.
Potentially.
Don't look up. Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. He does lend himself well to the
He has won it before.
the Academy Awards. Yep. Let's see here. 95 most anticipated movies of 2021.
SpongeBob.
I don't care. Stop. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I thought Judas and the Black Messiah was last year.
No, it was earlier this year.
Okay, well then
Wow,
yeah, that's
look
probably
at
gonna be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard good
I
things
didn't even
about
think
that
about
one.
that.
Nomadland won for last year though. Oh, okay.
Yep.
So they did the thing where they released it for a week. Yeah,
That's
these
how
are
they
all. Why
get
are
it.
all these movies? I hate when studios
Coming
do
to
that.
America 2.
Coming to America. To America. To coming. Yeah, I'm not really.
All right. Any other random bit of news you have to bring up? We got pictures of the Cowboy Bebop live action.
Yeah. How do you feel
which
about that?
They did not show Ed. Anyone who has seen that show knows that Ed must be included. He is a pivotal character in that series.
In the Heights?
No. It'll be nominated, but it won't win anything.
Right.
I think my only problem with the Cowboy Bebop is John Cho. Is that his last name? The actor.
Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah,
I think so.
he doesn't look like he looks like Spike, right? He has the hair, the way they did up his hair in the pictures. He has the iconic suit, but his vibe isn't the same. It's like what I was talking about with Venom.
Yeah.
He looks like Spike, but he doesn't have the vibe of Spike.
Sure.
And that to me is important. I mean, that's just important for that character. It's not even important for me. Just that character has a vibe to him that, you gotta match. But other than that, I'm probably actually gonna watch it unironically.
Many Saints of Newark, do we think is going to be there?
You know what?
Sopranos.
Yeah, it is Sopranos. If it's good, it will be.
Yeah, probably.
Which I know is like
asking a lot.
The bare minimum. No, I just think that's like the bare minimum.
To be good.
If it's good. But I genuinely think that if it's good, it will probably be nominated. Yeah.
The House of Gucci. Is it really Scott? Last Night in Soho, Edgar Wright.
Well, no, because Edgar Wright gets no love at the Oscars.
True. Undeservedly.
None. Yeah. Seriously.
He deserves some. Top Gun Maverick?
No, not Top Gun Maverick.
Let's see here. So to be announced. I don't see anything else. No. Rugrats?
Bob's Burger, the movie.
Pinocchio? Nah. Yeah, that's about it. So we think for sure.
Green Knight.
Judas.
French Dispatch.
Or those are our three locks.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Respect or one of Respect or Billie Holiday.
No Time to Die.
No Time to Die, maybe. I think it's on the outside looking in.
If it's good.
Soho is worthy of attention, but because Edgar Wright gets no love.
And I think Dune will be nominated. I still stand by that.
I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised either way. I think In the Heights is going to end up being nominated.
They would nominate West Side Story before they nominate In the Heights.
Well, ¿por qué no los dos? I guess you can only have one musical.
Yeah. Only one musical per year.
All right. Yeah, that's about it, really. I can't think of anything else that... Wow, that's crazy. He's going to have 2 movies back to back.
Yeah. He was really busy.
No, on the same weekend. Jesus Christ. That's wild. How do you think
Timothée
how do you think the
Chalamet
Timothée Chalamet
stands.
demographic is gonna go? Which one do you think they're gonna lean?
Dune, they're
gonna see him with Zendaya, but he looks artsy in the French Dispatch.
I think they would probably see him in French Dispatch first.
True. Fair point. Fair point.
Because French Dispatch is French. Call Me by Your Name was French.
I thought it was Italian. Is it French?
European.
I don't know. I never saw it. I just always thought it was Italian because they had Italian names.
Oh man.
Many Saints of Newark. I think we think is gonna be I don't want to. Well, yeah, we'll put it in there. Because there's not really else.
Reminiscence.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I heard amazing things about that. I heard that is actually really, really good.
It comes out this weekend.
Yeah, it's out on Disney Plus.
Cool. All right.
I have heard really good things about it.
Interesting.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all for us. Unless you have anything else.
No.
Cool. We will. Y'all have a wonderful evening, afternoon, night, whenever you're listening to this podcast. This was Hit Play. I was Ezekiel Menace. That was James Hardy. Have a good night.